Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome on the Culture News. My name is David Serero, and I have the pleasure today to interview a wonderful author. His name is Mr. Robert Pascuzzi. Let me spell it for you, Pascuzzi. He has released this wonderful novel, which we're going to talk about. Right now on the phone is Robert Pascuzzi. How are you today, sir?
Oh, I'm fabulous, David. Thanks for having me on the show with you.
Thank you. It's really a pleasure to have you. So we're going to talk about this wonderful new novel that you have written. It's a novel of evil, hope, and the afterlife. Tell us about this wonderful novel of yours.
Right. Well, okay, so the novel was born from a tragedy that my wife and I experienced personally in our lives. And the novel actually was released in 2014. And so we went on a journey to really come to grips with a lot of the things that we had experienced in the aftermath of the tragedy, which I can't get into the details. But the book was basically our attempt to work through this and navigate this loss and come to grips with it and tell the story in a way that we hope that the reader would, if experiencing similar challenges in their lives, would find a message of hope and forgiveness through taking something that was very, very dark, because I'm of the belief that there's always an opposite. And if it's something very, very dark or, tragic, then there's an equal and opposite positive on the other side. You just have to find it. And that's what we did in the 3 years that it took to write this book.
Indeed. And I want to say about the book is absolutely wonderful. It's called The Ravine, R-A-V-I-N-E, The Ravine. And there is this great website, it's theravine.info, and I invite everyone to know about it. So tell us about what is the origin of that word?
Well, as I said, the origin was a real life experience that happened in our lives with some very close friends, and so it was a murder suicide. But again, I can't go into the details. But in the book, we chronicled a similar story. It wasn't the exact same sequence of events that we experienced, but we basically came up with something very close to that to protect the identities, locations, and so forth of the real people involved, and told the story very similar to the one that actually happened, but turned it into something positive at the end. And the reader will just, if this is resonating with you out there, you'll need to read the book to understand where I'm coming from on this. But since then, some very exciting things have happened over the last couple of years. Universal Studios worked with my wife, Kelly, and I, and we wrapped on the movie. So we have adapted the book into a featured film, and we shot the movie down in New Orleans the fourth quarter of 2019, and are close to wrapping the movie in terms of the editing and so forth. The movie should be coming out at the end of this year, 2020, so we're very excited about that. The movie stars Eric Dane, Terry Polo, Leslie Uggams, Peter Fastanelli, Byron Mann, and Kyle Lauder. So we had an all-star lineup of actors, and it's going to be a spectacular movie.
And indeed, if you go on the website, theravine.info, you go on the page, the movie, and you can see already a video promo, and the image is absolutely spectacular. It looks like this is going to be really, really a wonderful movie, and that is really, really connected to the success of this amazing novel. So I would love to know, what are you working on? What is the next thing that you're working on now?
Oh, a lot of things. But we do actually, this was our first experience with a movie, and it was a fantastic experience. Everybody involved just was terrific to work with, from actors to crew and so forth. So I've begun another adventure of writing a screenplay with the gentleman that helped us adapt the Ravine, the novel, into a screenplay. And so I'm working with the same gentleman. His name's Keone Waxman. And we're working on a screenplay right now that will be a film about an actual event in World War II. So we're just in the beginning of that. It's very different from, obviously, this real-life story or true-to-event story that we wrote here. But that's something I'm very excited about. And then if the reader or the listener wants to know more about Robert Pascuzzi, they can go to my website, which is robertpascuzzi.com, or another site they can check is Bobby P, BOBBYP for Pascuzzi.com, and that'll connect you to my personal website. And I've got other books that I've written on there, and I do a lot of speaking and success training, coaching, and all of that information is on my personal website.
Indeed, some beautiful things. And I want to say that the book, The Ravine, the book that is at the origin of all these beautiful movie that is coming up pretty soon, is available on Amazon. So we say hello to all our friends at Amazon. It is also available as an audiobook, right?
Yes.
On Audible. That is absolutely amazing. We love audiobooks. We love Audible. We say hello to our friends over there. It's available on the Kindle format and, of course, paperback. Please really go to purchase this amazing novel called The Ravine by Robert Pascuzzi. Let me spell it for you. Pascuzzi. This is a wonderful, wonderful book that you all must read. You can go also on the website and keep updated with all the new things that Mr. Robert Pascuzzi has done. So, who are the, I would say, the authors who have influenced you as an author?
Well, I would say, really my enthusiasm is, I'm an enthusiast for self-help, but I like Stephen King novels on that side of the genre. But I love, and read books from people like Tony Robbins and Wallace Wattles and Bob Proctor and Napoleon Hill. One of the books that influenced me at a very young age, and I still read every day today, in fact, is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which I'm sure you're probably aware of, and it's the number one all-time selling best self-help book of all time. So those types of books have inspired me, and this book was a labor of love to get done. It was a journey that we had to navigate through, and working from the book to the movie. There was a period of time when there wasn't much happening, but we always held an image in our mind that the book would someday be, turned into a movie. And 6 years later, here we are. So it's been an amazing journey, and we are very excited about and proud about this film. It's going to impact many, many people because there's such a strong message of hope and redemption and forgiveness in such a dark tragedy. And I think even more than ever today, with everything that's going on out there, it's just a really, really dark period, not only in our country, but around the world. And I can't think of anything that's really engulfed the whole world since something like this, since World War II. And so it's a very unique time for our nation and the world. And I think people are looking for something to hold on to and to inspire them and to give them certainty in a world of uncertainty right now. And in some ways, that's what our book does, because it takes a personal act of somebody who did something so tragic as the character of Danny in The Ravine, murdering his family and then committing suicide. So the reader will find, and they'll find in the movie, it's not a matter of who done it per se, because we established right up front who did it. The audience is going to know who did it. The question is, why did he do it? And that's really the journey that we went on, the discovery process we went on, and I think was the motivation to go through this, to try to figure out what had happened. And we're not telling the reader or the viewer how they should see it or what their beliefs should be. That's going to be in the way that we've put the book together and the movie together. That leaves it wide open for them at the end so that they can decide for themselves what happened. And I think that's what's going to be so appealing about this story, is we're not leading them down a path to, we want you to walk away with this, per se. It's your choice to decide.
I love to hear you. I love really to hear your passion and all the beautiful things that you are telling us. And the story is absolutely fascinating. And you're right. We need to know about all these redemption, because, nowadays we have the public justice on social media. But, how much does it take, once you say you're sorry and you're learning from your mistake, that the public forgives you, So I think the whole world needs a movie like this to know about redemption, indeed. And this is such an important value to be able to forgive one another. I want to tell you that, the audience never does a mistake, and they do love your book on Amazon. Amazing ratings, amazing reviews all over the place. For The Ravine by my wonderful guest, Mr. Robert Pascuzzi, who is a wonderful author, and he has this wonderful book that is this wonderful movie, that is coming out very soon with a phenomenal cast. And I invite everyone to go on theravine.info, theravine.info, and click on the movie. You can click on bio, then you can read a lot about what our wonderful Robert Pascuzzi has done. He is unstoppable. Let's call him that way. He is unstoppable, and we love to have him. And you have done a lot of bestsellers such as Get Tough, Retire Rich, and a lot of wonderful, wonderful things. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank our wonderful guest of today, Mr. Robert Pascuzzi. Robert, thank you so much for being with us today.
David, thank you. It's all my pleasure.
It's really an honor having you, and I think you can count on us and on a lot of people to be at the first row when the movie will be released. And for sure, you can count us as your biggest fans for all your next books. The first sales you will see will go definitely from us.
You're so kind.
My pleasure.
And David, I wanted to add, if you can follow the movie also on Instagram at The Ravine Movie. It's at The Ravine Movie on Instagram.
At The Ravine Movie on Instagram,
yes.
Indeed. And I'm following it right now. Beautiful pictures. We see you on set with all these wonderful, wonderful actors and this beautiful screenshot. Oh, my God. The cinematography is just gorgeous on this movie. I can tell you it's going to be a great
fantastic
movie.
Thank you again for having me, David. And I can tell you that that the movie is going to inspire so many people. And so for all you listeners out there, any support that you can provide The Ravine through your social media, if you resonate with the story, we would love your help and support in spreading the word organically for this movie as well.
Well, for sure, you can count on us for doing that. And I'm hearing an Oscar on the way. I want an Oscar for this great movie. I want this movie in every theaters in America, and every American, even abroad, to go to see this great, great film. More music to follow up on iHeartRadio. Stay tuned.